get back to our correspondent, Michael Baleke. Hopefully you can hear me now. Michael, it's good to have you with us. He's joining us from Kampala in Uganda. So, Michael, talk to us about the fact that we hear that Samia Suluhu Hassan has officially been confirmed as the landslide winner of the past elections. But what is the latest from what you're hearing as to what's currently happening on the ground?
Hi, Alicia. Yeah, well, yes, Tanzania's incumbent President Samia Suluhu Hassan has received, indeed, her certificate of victory from the Independent Electoral Commission. And, of course, this follows, of course, her win of the Wednesday election, which she has won by nearly 98%, sweeping the 32 million vote ballots cast on that day. Well, to tell you, the international observers and mainly the opposition, most of the opposition politicians have expressed concern about this result because it lacks transparency, they say, and because of the widespread turmoil that happened after the election happened. We have heard of hundreds of people killed and hundreds more injured. The opposition claim 700 people were killed, and the government, of course, has denied these claims. And of course, the internet is down, so we cannot verify these claims of the death toll. The government has sought to play this down, the scale of violence, saying that nothing, they are in charge and they're in control. Of course, authorities have extended a curfew within the country, and while we saw some protests on Friday, on Saturday after the announcement, while the situation remains tense, it has largely been quiet, tense but quiet across much of Tanzania. Mm-hmm.
And Michael, what have the election observers said? Because the last time we spoke to, I think around Thursday, they hadn't given out a statement, issued a statement. Have they now declared officially these elections as being both free and fair? And also, what can you tell us also about the current plans by the excluded opposition, as well as their supporters, to go ahead and nullify the results and call for a fresh round of elections?
Well, of course, the election observers came out saying that, well, they tried in the first hours of Wednesday. They went to observe the elections start, and afterwards, when turmoil broke out, everyone went back. They all went back to their hotels. So and the internet was shut down, and they couldn't, properly go and observe what was happening on the ground because of the skirmishes and the protesters on the streets. Well, the government says that has shut that down, saying that, well, they offered the observers the different communication tools so that they can observe the elections. We have heard that at certain polling stations, even at the places where the provisional results were read, some of the observers were not allowed to go there because of their safety. So the observers say this was more of a sham election. They have not come out clearly. We have seen the South Africans, of course, saying, the South African delegation saying that, they observed, but they did not observe enough because they did not have communication, and they had reservations, and they were waiting for the head of the international observers to give a statement. But largely, of course, the opposition teams are saying that they will, they're going to call for further demonstrations. They thought that once there was an announcement today, people will come en masse onto the streets. But it looks like there was some kind of fear with the opposition saying that there are groups of people moving in cars that are, that are non-Tanzanian. They actually said these were mercenaries who were shooting people dead on the streets, and they claimed. This is a claim that we cannot verify, but one of the opposition leaders said there were Ugandan security officials who had come and they were hired as mercenaries to kill, because they believe the army during the demonstrations was on the side of the people. So there's no way they would have shot, of course, people dead. But these are all claims because the internet is still down. The only, of course, the journalists have been refused from reporting anything. The private media have been refused from reporting anything. What we hear and what we get is only on the government mouthpiece, and that is the Tanzania Broadcasting, of course, Corporation. So we don't know what might happen, but largely we are looking at probably a quiet weekend, and then we see what happens as the week starts and the new government takes place.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael, for that live update. Michael Baleke, SABC News correspondent, joining us live from Kampala in Uganda with the very latest on the post-election unrest out in Tanzania. We understand that, of course, according to some unconfirmed reports, because we understand that the internet is still down in Tanzania, they are saying that there's relative calm on the streets of most of the cities that had been mired by protests.